Evenings LLate, the first of a doubleheader of two shows tonight. Wall Street reacts as Qualcomm earnings miss. Meantime, Jim Cramer minutes ago gives advice about stocks. American Airlines warns about furloughing nearly 13,000 employees. Then, Senate Democrats explain how the new passage of that reconciliation sets up such a delicious path to the finish line. Then, our way or the highway? Did Joe Biden really accommodate the Republicans this week? Or did he basically just do a Nancy Pelosi? Next, did Nancy cut the telephone line on a fellow congressman on the phone when talking about stimulus? Finally, teaching without a vaccine. Should teachers be ordered back into schools without vaccination? And then we turn to the Golden Globes. They were announced early this morning. And I have the historic announcement from Hollywood. And with that, thank you for joining me on the Evenings LA. Now, a 24-hour news financial channel, delivering you financial news from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, around the clock, and the most interactive and the most comprehensive you'll find online. So make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member, Purple Hawk or Purple Power, Calcino VIP. I have so much to cover. I'll also be covering your 2,000 comments from last night's recording. If you have comments to this video, drop them in the comments below. You might feature them in tomorrow's recording as well. I'll be reading some of them in this recording. All right, let's get to the breaking news. Jim Cramer minutes ago gave warnings about why people should and shouldn't buy securities after the scandal that erupted earlier this week about GameStop and an online message board. Karina, welcome to the family, and Sonia, thank you for the dancing pair. Karina, welcome to the family, and Sonia, thank you for the dancing pair. This is what Jim Cramer said on broadcast news just a few minutes ago. There's only one reason to own stocks, and that's, of course, to make money. We're at a critical point in this market, and the point where the cheapest stocks are often the best, and the most expensive are often the worst. I want to address the retail revolution and put in some context. Sometimes you have to buy a 2-day junta, and then sometimes it goes back to normal. But sometimes the radio station before that tanks rolls in. And what also rolled in tonight? News, bad news from the airlines. American Airlines tonight said that it's furloughing 13,000 employees and gave them notices. Their concern is lack of stimulus going out fast enough and lack of vaccine distribution. The statement says the vaccine is not being distributed as quickly as us believed, and the new restrictions on international travel require customers to receive a negative COVID-19 test have dampened demand, said American CEO Doug Parker in a staff note tonight, obtained by LLA News. We're fully behind our union leaders' efforts to fight for an extension. So that was that. Hey, Steve, what's going on? Everyone, welcome Steve to the room. Earlier this week, you saw the excitement. The excitement when a reconciliation bill was passed. That is basically the tow truck with the tow hitch. The tow truck is the reconciliation. That reconciliation has in it a provision that that makes it very simple, that says you can pass the $1.9 trillion stimulus package with just the Democrats' vote. Thank you, Jen, for the dancing pair. Jen with the dancing pair. And there's Carmen with a lemon. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome, Steve and Jim and Carmen. And wow, a lot of dancing pairs there. So what did they do? Normally, you would have had to have gotten 10 Republicans to vote for the $1.9 trillion stimulus package if it was just written as a standalone bill. Now, because of the reconciliation process, you don't need any of them. But Joe Biden says that he'll still talk to them. He's just not doing anything else. So his way or the highway? It's really his way and the highway. Joe Biden today and tomorrow and the days to come will say basically the following. I'm willing to talk to you about the $1.9 trillion, but it's staying as 1.9. I'm willing to talk to you about the $1,400 stimulus check, but it's still staying as $1,400. But thank you for calling, and you have a beautiful day. God bless you. So that's basically how the conversations are going to go throughout the entire year. Joe Biden has made it very clear that we'll get some Republicans, but we're not going to change the Democratic position to get them. We're staying where we are. House Budget Committee Chair John Yarmouth, a Democrat of Kentucky, tonight praised the process. While bipartisan talks continue, today's passage of the resolution ensures we will be passing the stimulus package. Americans cannot wait, and Congress cannot slow down our efforts. But if you've been a subscriber or viewer of this channel, you know that this is not the only time they're going to do it. Earlier today, yesterday, and tonight also, with Jared Bernstein, a longtime advisor to Joe Biden, all of them said the $1.9 trillion stimulus package is a little bit too small. Went a little bit too small in the stimulus package. So they say they're going to be back. And that's what they said during the campaign trail. They will be back. Hashtag MSC. They will be back with another stimulus package because this one didn't turn out to be as big as they really needed to be. Basically, what happened was they wrote it in early January. They should have written it closer to the end of January when they saw what was really going on with the pandemic. Meantime, in the last 2 days, you heard me talk about the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, and its report that, hey, this gross national product is going to do really well over the next 6 to 8 months, and we're going to be really roaring on all pistons. Well, Jared Bernstein says tonight reconciliation has nothing to do with the GDP. Really, reconciliation doesn't have to do with that. There's a common ground when it comes to virus control. You can't judge our plan, our success, by looking at GDP, not even looking at the unemployment numbers. Those things are necessary, but not sufficient. There's far too many people, and GDP growth has been a spectator sport for errors on end. You're going to be getting the following: a $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 for married couples, $1,400 for children, $3,200 for adult dependents. FPUC from January, retro for a few weeks, $400 forward to the end of September. That's about 40 weeks. That's about $16,000 on top of your PUA and UI. You'll be getting hazard pay and rent. All those details are coming up in the video after this. On the videos after this, in about 15, well, now it's about 21 minutes from now, I'll be back with the second half of Evenings LA in which I go over the items that are actually in the third stimulus package. And the great news is that we have no less than about 5 new items that we learned about just yesterday. There you go. With 600 people in the room and 300 likes, let's see if we can get it to 1,000 and 1,000. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 people and 1,000 likes. Next, did Nancy cut someone's telephone line? No, she didn't, but she did the equivalent of it. Today, Joe Biden had conference calls with House Republicans, House Senators. I missed who that was. Who just joined the room? I want to give him a big shout out. Can you tell me who it was? Because I missed it. Joe Biden had a big conference call. Welcome, Ross. It was Ross. Ross, thank you for becoming part of this family. Thank you for becoming a Purple Hawk, and everyone welcome Ross to the family. Earlier today, Joe Biden had his first conference call with House Democrats and House and Senate Democrats. He said the following to the House Democrats: let's stick together. I'll have your back and you'll have mine. That's a little bit blunt, but that's how he said it. I'm not going to start by breaking a promise to the American people. Oh, really? Chuck Schumer explained what happened during the Senate conference call. We want to do it bipartisan. We must be strong. We cannot dawdle. We cannot delay. We cannot dilute. We cannot find another word that starts with the letter D. He's like a Kardashian, just with the letter D in that sentence there. Because the troubles this nation, the opportunities have are so large. And while we're on the letter D, here's Dick Durbin. No, Brian Schwartz says, I think there's still opportunity to go bigger and bolder. Then what happened with Nancy with that telephone call? Oh, Nancy. The old 2020 Nancy's back. Joe Biden was having a conference, was about to get onto a conference call with House Democrats. Remember, Nancy is the Speaker of the House. And that they were waiting for Joe to get on the line. And Nancy's on the line. They're all sitting on the line. This is what apparently happened. Before Biden got on the phone, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee jumped in and said, I'd like to talk about redistricting. Nancy wasn't having it. She jumped and said, "Stop it. We're talking about passing a budget bill with complete unity. Don't be going on another tangent there." Oh, I love when Nancy just claps back. It's 2020 Nancy all over again. So needless to say, that conversation was ended very quickly. The day started. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Thank you, Jennifer, for becoming part of this family. Thank you, Jennifer, for becoming a Purple Hawk. The day started with incredible great news from Hollywood as the 78th annual Golden Globe nominations were announced. The Golden Globe Awards will be taking place on the 28th. I'm nominated for Best Dancing Pair that night. The night included incredible nominations, in fact, six, led by Mank. Mank led the nominations with six nominations, the most of any film this year. The movie's about Citizen Kane. It's written by Herman Mankiewicz. But the big day was for women. Women for the first time women for the first time got more than a single nomination in the directing category. Three women made history by all getting nominated for Best Director in a Feature Film in the same year. And who were the record-setting women? They are Regina King, nominated for directing One Night in Miami, Zoe Zhao for directing Nomadland, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, meantime joins the group, and Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of Chicago 7. Netflix, which also did Mank, led with nominations of 42. Other nominations were Best TV Series Comedy, Emily in Paris, The Flight Attendant, Great, Schwitzless, and Ted Lasso. Best TV series were The Crown, Lovecraft, and The Mandalorian, and others. Wow. So there you go. A lot of exciting news from Hollywood. Meantime, how about this controversy brewing over schools and stimulus? This is really quite surprising. Teaching without a vaccine. What do you think? Well, earlier today, you heard me report that last night, Gavin Newsom, the Democratic governor of California, came out and said, "I don't care what's going on. You are not going back to in-person teaching in the schools of California until we are vaccinated." And teachers have tried to get vaccination before everyone else in the state of California. And California has not had in-person schooling for 10 months. Hey, Jason, how are you? Well, the CDC director came out today and she said, no, I'm asking everyone to get back into schools promptly because there's no suggestion that teaching without vaccination is not appropriate. Wow, there you go. A little bit controversial there. At the 13-minute mark, let me give you a big update. If you're just joining me tonight, 1,000 people in the room with 500 likes. How are you? Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Margie, for the dancing pair. Jen had a very nice comment. Let me see what it just said, see if I can grab it. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. God bless. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. I don't know if Elizabeth, oh, as I'm killing the screen. So long as I don't crash the camera, we're all good. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. And also thank you for that dancing pair. Let me give you the big update. It's to sit here on the 13-minute mark. Thank you for joining me. Oh, I almost did kill the camera. Let's see if I can bring it down. There we go. The big news as you join me tonight is that you're going to be getting a stimulus check, $1,400 an individual, $2,800 a married couple, $1,400 a child, and $3,200 adult dependent. Hey, Peggy, how are you? Thank you for joining this family as a Purple Hawk. What has happened was Congress used a process called reconciliation. Hey, Josh, Jenny, thank Jen. Let's try that again. Thank you, Jen, for the dancing pair. I really appreciate it. The reconciliation process is like a tow truck with a tow hitch behind it. The tow truck passed over the finish line yesterday. The concept is the following. Normally, you would need more votes to pass a bill. But when you control both the House and the Senate, you can do this process. This process was last done during the Trump administration in its first term. When you win all three branches of government, then you can do this. And it's commonly used. The question is how many times the Biden administration will use. What is the concept? It basically says, I want to pass the thing attached in the back of the truck with just the Democrats. I don't need a single Republican. And if they pass the truck over the finish line, then the tow hitch follows as well. And so what does that mean? The tow hitch is going to become law. The question is just what day. It's no longer a question of when or how. It's just what day. And there you go. With 15 minutes on the clock, thank you for joining me. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. This is the best darn channel there is out there. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home. And I'll be back next live about 15 minutes after this show. It should be 15 minutes from now at the end of this show, with the continuation when I go through all the deal provisions of the third stimulus package and new provisions we haven't heard until just recently. These are all really exciting. 1,200 in the room and 600 likes. Oh my goodness, get these likes up. So maybe we can do 1,500 people in the room and 1,000 likes. Get those likes up. Let's get them to 1,000 likes, and let's see if we can get 1,500 in the room. Let me answer some incredible questions and comments from last night's recording. Let's see what they said about last night's Evenings Ally. There are about 2,000 comments. Danny V, I signed the petition for retro. Yes, under FPUC, under the third stimulus package, it's retro back to January, but not retro to July. Let's see what we got. Bonnie Bell. This is an emergency crisis. Go bigger now. This needs to be in the bill. Stephanie Brown. Fight seniors and veterans and all beneficiary recipients. Push, push, push. Now constantly. I love that. James Aldredge. How Nancy, now Nancy can have a drink while getting a ride compliments of her Uber en route to happy hour. That was a response to my reporting last night that Uber has bought online drink delivery service Drizzly for $1.5 billion. Judy Stoller. Anything about the $200 a month for people on Social Security? Lorenzo, you're always doing a great job, but respect to you for keeping us informed and updated on all these things as well, ups and downs. Los Angeles, California representing. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Lorenzo. Sharon Rosenberg. Great. Now they can start getting us $2,000 every month. Sharon's like, good. You started getting to work, Congress. Now give us $2,000 every month. I love that. Nancy has plenty of drinks for everyone. And now she has drinks on power. Linda, thank you for joining this family. Welcome, Linda, and let's drink to that, shall we? Let's drink to that. Priscilla Brock. Hi, I was wondering, are we still getting the SSI? Lisa Ashley. So happy for all the adult dependents. Do we know if they will send the checks or debit cards directly to them or will be attached to the filer's account? Great question. So if you're an adult dependent, it'll go to the person whose return you appear as a dependent on. So if your mom is elderly and she appears on your tax return, then it'll go to you. Her check will arrive with you. It'll arrive, depending on who's your Treasury Secretary, it'll arrive in the bank account, it'll arrive in the paper check, or arrive in a debit card. We really don't know which one yet. So that was a great question as well. Now with 19 minutes on the mark, let me explain what's going to be happening next for stimulus over the next few days. I certainly believe, and there's Alicia with the donuts. I certainly believe that over the next few days, there's going to be some confusion. Why? I'm preparing you to understand that not you, you're not going to be confused. You're not going to be confused in the next few days. Other people are going to be confused in the next few days. I'll tell you why. No one that saw this, this reconciliation process last year. So last year, every time we talked about stimulus, you never saw this word, reconciliation. You never saw that word. We never talked about reconciliation. And when people say Rika who? Rika who? Rika, I don't know her. Recon? My car was reconciliated once. People don't know what that word is. It's a big word. It's very confusing. It sounds confusing. And when you hear there's a bill for a bill, that just sounds really weird. And so I know that people are going to say, so when or how, I think that people are just going to get confused. Why? Because broadcast news is confused. Broadcast news reporters have not been covering the reconciliation because they have absolutely no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's going on. And so when they try to report it, they're like, oh, they're doing this thing, and I don't know what this thing is. And Tara, thank you for coming to Purple Power. Oh, wow, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Tara, for coming to Purple Power. And I've actually tuned into some broadcasters. I'm like, that's totally incorrect. That's totally incorrect. There's Yolanda for becoming a Purple Hawk. All you need to know is the following. When? What day? LA, did they do it today? Did they do it tomorrow? Are they doing it the day after? What day? It's not an issue anymore of whether it's going to happen. It's now happened. The question is what day? The other question is what's in there? And that is still a big question, especially for things like hazard pay we don't have clarity about, and other items we don't have a lot of numbers on. In the video after this, I'll be back live and go through the items in there and show you where we have clarity and where we don't have clarity. Why we got surprised this week from Nancy as she said, hey, I got this. I got these new things for you. I'm like, wow, Nancy, where did these new things come? I missed a lot. I was at Domino's. I love when people tell me everything about their eating habits. I get Instagram pictures all day long saying, here I am eating chicken. Did I talk about chicken yesterday? Someone sent me a thing. Here I am barbecuing. Oh, okay. I don't know why. Me and viewers with the food is just, maybe I'm on a different wavelength. They just keep on sending me pictures of themselves eating. I don't know. Maybe it's a new, maybe it's a new thing to just send. Hey, here I am eating. Here I am, and I don't mean donuts. I mean it's just like I'm eating. Oh yeah, you're eating. I see you're eating. So, it's not bacon either. So that would have been more relevant. So. Uh, at the 22-minute mark, let me give the clarity where we are. Uh, the reconciliation process enabled the White House and Democrats to take Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package and put it on the tow hitch of a tow truck and drag it and in dragging it, they don't need to have a single vote from a single Republican. They were able to reduce the number of votes they would normally need to pass a bill. And by doing that, they finalized it. The way you do the reconciliation, you say, hi, I have a thing on that tow hitch back there. I want to tow it. Okay, well, let me approve your truck and then you can tow it. Well, that truck was approved this week. And now all they got to do is tow the thing on the hitch. And that's very simple. All they have to do is hold the party line. And that's why Joe had the conference call today with the Democrats. So it's not really an issue of, is it going to happen? Will it happen? It has happened. But you're going to see over the next few days, I heard Mitt and I heard Murkowski and who cares? Let me reenact to you what's going to happen over the next few days. This is an LLA exclusive reenactment of what you're going to see over the next few days. Thank you, Mitt, for calling me about that suggestion to do $1,000 check. That's wonderful. I really appreciate your input. We're not doing that. But how are the kids? Have a beautiful weekend. Don't miss that golf tournament. And who are you voting for? Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? Lisa Murkowski, you want to get rid of FPUC? You want to do it $100 a week? That's so blessed for you. I really appreciate it. Have you tried Nancy's $12 ice cream? You really should. But anyway, thank you for calling. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you at the backgammon game tomorrow. That's basically what's going to be going on, because he's going to get calls from people. He's like, yes, it's wonderful you called. It's just charming you called. No, I'm not doing that, but thank you so much for calling. Linda, thank you for coming to Purple Heart. It's basically the reenactment of what's going to go on. Today he was the today the press statements were all the same. Is Joe Biden willing to listen? Yeah, he's willing to listen. Is he willing to change? Well, no. And so, well, how dare you do this to me? Well, Republicans did the last time around, and every president who's ever been elected has done this the first term. They all do it the first term, so this is nothing new. At the 25-minute mark, do you have any questions so far about reconciliation? American Airlines was required to make that announcement, by the way, because under federal law, you have to announce that you're furloughing your workers before you're furloughing it. So American Airlines tonight sent out furlough notices to 13,000 employees because of the concern that rebounding of that industry is not occurring, namely airline travel. So that is clearly where we are tonight. Meantime, NASDAQ and S&P and Dow Jones futures are flat on overnight. Tomorrow we'll see more earnings reports, but the day featured everything from Apple Car, which I just can't get this visual of Apple Car in my mind. I just can't. If you did not catch the earlier broadcast today, hey Disco Diva, there's going to be an Apple Car. In 2024, there's going to be an Apple Car. They're not sure if it's called Apple Car or iCar or I cut you off. Marchie with the dancing bear. What do you think the Apple Car should be called? Drop in the comments on the screen. What do you think the new Apple Car should be called? I drive. I cut you off. I highway or my way. What do you think the Apple Car should be called? It's just I can't visualize it. It's going to be operating with all Apple devices. It will be operating all Apple software, and I guess Siri will be your onboard computer. Carmel. Carmel. I drive 65. Someone says my car. Carmel. Rotten apples. I can't start. The core Apple Car. I can't start. Oh my God. I need a tow. I need a tow. Apple pie. My car. I can't. iCar. Yeah, of course, iCar. Uh, apple juice. Yeah. I don't know. Apple juice. What's does the Apple Car take gasoline? No, it takes apple juice, of course. You folks. Apple iPhone. Apple drops. Oh my goodness. Apple cider, apple pie. And Mitch is sitting back saying, I guess. King's Tips, thank you for joining the room. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to King Tips for becoming part of this family. He's like, why are they talking about cars? Because the Apple earnings are up on the excitement that there's going to be an Apple Car, Apple Juice, Apple King. I drive. Apple One, apple cider. No one's going with the I thing. Mac Attack. Mm, uh, will the bill become law before Trump returns? Yes, the TR will become law before Trump returns. I drive. I ride. I smart. Calcino car. Car's apple cider, the Calcino car. Apple tizer. What I miss? You missed the Apple Car. The Apple Car is just coming out. That's what you miss. Oh my goodness. Apple red car. Apple crumb pie. My iRide. I like that. My iRide. I do like that. I remember when the iPad came out, and they're like, "Oh, really? Did you not call that iPad?" And there was certainly, yeah, I'm not going to go there, but you know what the jokes were. Apple TV. Apple TV. The convertible, the coupe version of the Apple car is called the Apple TV. That's hysterical. There'll be a miniature version, a convertible version of the coupe called the Apple TV. The minivan will be called the Apple Orchard. The core. Oh my God. Applelicious. Apples and peanut butter. iCar will stop every 10 minutes for updates. Yes, the car. Yes, that's your Apple Car. Every 10 seconds, it's going to stop to download a new app. It's like, oh, I got to stop. I got to download a new app. I got to download the new iOS. iOS Drive. Yeah, the new iOS Drive app upload. Wow, at the 30-minute mark, let me tell you where we are on this really out of control recording Apple ice cream. I've been cored. Says, oh my God, candy apple. Yeah. Oh, that's the one that comes in red. The candy apple. I know there's going to be someone that's going to go in the dealership. It's going to be a comedian. I'm a comedian. Yes, sir. Okay. I want the apple, but I want it in red. I want the candy apple. That's not funny. Everyone says that joke every single day. It's not funny. There's going to be that same person comes to the dealership every day. I'd like the candy apple one. Yeah, that's very, very funny. It was funny after the first buyer came and made that joke. Now after 20 of them, it was like, okay, can you stop with that stupid joke? It's not funny anymore. The caramel apple. Yeah, there you go. With 1,500 people in the room and 983 likes. Let's see if we get these likes to 1,000. Let me give you the big update. This is Evenings in LA, direct from Los Angeles, and what a night it is. Approaching 1,600 people in the room and 1,000 likes. The big updates is that your stimulus package is finalized. Process which basically brought the stimulus package to the finish line. All they have to do now is just call for a vote. It's all finalized. In the video right after this, in about 3 minutes, I'm going to be back live. So watch for a new live stream. And in that video, I will go through the items that are in the third stimulus package. You need to be ready as a purple hawk, because there's a lot of money in there, a lot of items that you qualify for. They're not law yet. They're not. Well, they're bill. They are bill. They're not law yet, but they're not disputable. We know what they are, and we know how they're going to work. Some items we need to know a little bit more information, and I want you to be ready with anything you need to know and be informed, because this money will be first come, first serve. The broad stroke is a $1,400 stimulus check, $2,800 married couple, $1,400 children, and $3,200 adult dependent. Join me next on the continuation of Evenings LA. Stay informed. Make sure you subscribe. With 1,500 in the room and 1,100 likes. Great job. I really like it. And I like your car, your Apple Car jokes. Make sure you subscribe, hit that alert button, and become a member. And I'll see you back live in about 4 minutes from now on the continuation of Evenings LA.